Hi everybody, welcome to season 3 of What's IGN Crashing On. I'm Caryn Solomon and I'm your host. And we're here to talk about what's hot in pop culture. Hey guys, welcome to episode 12 of season 3. So this is our final episode, which seems to coincide with Christmas. So we're going to have a little bit of a chatter about Christmas, of course, Christmas movies. And also we're going to talk a bit about our favorite moments from season 3. We hope that you guys have a great festive season, and we'll probably wish you late in the show, but this is just a little teaser, maybe some suggestions, maybe some points. If you guys agree with us or disagree with us, please let us know on social media. But yes, this is me, Caryn, and I'm here with Rebecca, who took a leave of absence and is finally back on the podcast. Say hello, Rebecca.
Leave of absence sounds super official. I'm saying hello. I'm happy to be back again. It's been a heavy couple of months, but nice to see you guys again.
I've gotten so many people saying that they missed hearing your voice. So I just
What?
wanted to give you a
Was it my
special.
mom? Did my mom call in? I bet you my mom phoned in. Yes, it's that lady,
Your mom's so cool.
So
She knows how
supportive.
to listen to podcasts.
Yeah, podcast.
And you've heard her laugh, but we are joined once again by Leanne Phillipson. Hello, Leanne.
Hello, Karen Ann. How are you? Hi, Rebecca.
This is the first episode where all three of us are in the same city. So we should also say welcome home to Rebecca. But that's very exciting.
Oh, it's so nice. Guys, it's so nice to be back. I mean, it's still Corona. We're still dealing with the picture of the Coronas over here. So we haven't actually seen each other in person, which kind of sucks, but is understandable after this year that we've had. But it's nice to be home in the sun, the mountains. When we live here for so long, we forget. We forget how lucky we are to actually live in a country like this. And the people are just lekker, and my heart is happy.
So I don't know if you guys have been. So I've basically been watching a lot of Christmas movies because that's my vibe, and also it's a one time of the year when it's okay. Not to say that I don't watch Christmas movies in the middle of the year, because I do. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
But,
it's the one time of the year that you can tell people. You can openly admit to the fact.
What have you been watching? Now I've been watching Homecoming Gingerbread Man for Christmas.
Yeah.
Last night,
guys, I feel like in August I was talking about Christmas movies.
But yeah, so I've been spending a lot of time watching it. So there's also been so I've also been trying to watch new ones because like most people, I tend to watch things over and over again. So especially when it comes to Christmas, I'll watch Love Actually and Alf and The Holiday and all that stuff again, just because it's the movies that you're familiar with. And this year I've been really, it's going to be a difficult Christmas because of the year that we had. So I've been really trying to also to watch new things that don't have memories attached to it. It's everything will be new for me. So so with that, I've been watching a lot of new Christmas movies as well, and and we know we're not we're going to be talking about our favorite Christmas movies. But before we get started, that I also wanted to say that there's been with last week we spoke about How to Ruin Christmas, the funeral that came out, the TV show. There's also been a lot more South African Christmas movies. I've been watching some, and there's some that I don't enjoy. There's some I was like, nah. But there's one I watched last night that I am sorry, I didn't even prep you guys for this. I just realized right now that I have to talk about this, that I enjoyed so much. And I am so shocked at how much I enjoyed it. So it's called Eve's Christmas. Firstly, I see it on DSTV now. So it's going to be on Showmax on the 24th of December.
Good timing.
But I think I don't know if it aired on DSTV last night or some on Mnet. So anyway, I see this thing on. I look for movies on Christmas, and the picture of it has got like American people. So it had like I don't know if you guys remember Amber from Clueless. Eliza something. She was also in Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Anyway, not important. But this actor, so I'm like, it looks like an usual Hallmark movie. But then the description says Mnet production and like about two siblings, and I'm like, this is not showing. So they have Mnet as the wrong picture, or DSTV as the wrong picture with the name. So I googled and discovered that there's an American also Eve's Christmas, which is the picture that they have, which is not the movie that's on Mnet. So anyway, I click on this anyway because I'm a bit of a nerd and I like to do things in order, and it's the first Christmas movie that popped up. So put on this movie, and I'm like, I'm gonna hate this movie. It's gonna be 1 out of 10 because something just didn't seem right. It was like a lot of like older white people, and I was like, oh, this looks boring. And then I pressed pause and I did some other things, and I was just like, oh, I hate not finishing things. Just carry on. I carry on, and my guys, I was floored at how good this movie was. Like it it's about this brother and a sister called Eve and Carl, and their father dies, and what happens is that he's like he gets his ashes and stuff, and they are like fighting, and then the brother goes to the sister and he's like, we need to go scatter dad's ashes, and the sister's like not there for it, whatever, and they have like a bit of a tussle, and then they kind of deal with their feelings, but like it was the brother especially, like it was genuinely funny. Like I laughed out loud. Like it didn't feel like a lot of South African stuff that I watch, when it's not everything, but quite a few, like the comedy feels very forced. But this was
Mm-hmm.
like, it just felt like stuff like people would say in that moment. Like a guy comes and he's like there's a toy car that they were looking for, and this guy gets it like at the last minute. He's like, no, because I have connections, but he like said it earlier in the thing that he like, he does import and export. And then the brother goes up to him and say, What else can your connections get me? And I swear, guys, I'm like, that's something a South African person would say. So there's that. It's got like a side romance where I really got into it. And plus the guy was like quite nice looking also.
There it is.
And then it's just like they dealt with like grief. They dealt with grief, but like it also felt very real in the way that they dealt with it. It was very well written. Like the dialogue was good, even the diversity. So, like I said, it was about these older. So the brother and the sister are maybe in their like late 30s, early 40s, and then their father is like old. But then it's the brother's family, his wife and his kid, and then it's like the girl, the Eve, the main character, she has like her colleagues and stuff are like, she has a colored assistant who was played by Anne Judy's, who's a very talented young colored actress, and she has like, and the rest of her colleagues are like black and colored, and she has two black friends also, like, but it doesn't feel like that awkward diversity,
It's
like
not
the
like a
way
token.
she and her two
Yeah.
friends were talking. I 100% believe that they've been friends for like 20 years, and
Amazing.
that's, yeah, it's just like, I don't want to give away anything more about the movie, but like I just want to tell you guys about what a great movie Eve's Christmas is. And like I think Eve's Christmas is a bad title, and I also think that like the pictures and stuff doesn't do it justice. But excellently written. The acting was good. I was crying, I was laughing, everything. And
Yeah.
it's just
Amazing.
such a small movie, and it doesn't try to go too big, like try to represent every South African culture, try to make
Yeah.
jokes out of everything, try to be
Uh,
like a big blockbuster. It was a very small family-esque movie, and just done so well. So guys, please check out Eve's Christmas. It's now on DSTV now, and from the 24th of December it will be on Showmax. But
yeah.
if that's not a recommendation, and nobody paid me for this. I didn't even know about this before I found out on
It
DSTV
sounded
now.
it
This is not
sounded
an
like you
ad.
were promoting. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no one even
Sounded like you
told
were
me about this
promoting
movie. I didn't even know this movie existed until I saw it was on DSTV now. So yeah, so
Nice.
that's my little promo for Eve's Christmas. So back back to the set of events. So I'm gonna ask you guys, what are your favorite Christmas movies? Or your number one. Okay, let's start with who looks ready to talk. Leanne?
Um, I don't know. I feel like I watch so many. It's very difficult to pick one, but I'm probably going to be a basic bitch and go with The Holiday, just because I think it's so much more than just your normal cheesy rom-com over Christmas. Like I honestly I love it for the Kate Winslet and Arthur storyline, because that old man is cute as hell,
Oh my
and
gosh, my
like just
heart.
their whole I know just their whole storyline and her discovering who she is and learning about gumption, and that journey is actually something that like I really really love. I think like the Cameron Diaz and Jude Law part is cute and it's funny and it gives you the rom-com stuff, but like I love that it's a well-rounded, because it is just people going through different phases and types of love, and different phases of relationships. And so, yeah, I'm gonna go with The Holiday. The soundtrack is good. It's pretty. It gives you the feels. It gives you the laughs, and it's one of those movies you can just watch over and over and over again. So, probably that one.
Okay, pick. We're gonna do a poll on social media. So everybody who's team holiday with Leanne, you guys can vote for that. But
No
Rebecca, what is
pressure.
your pick?
So for me, I know you asked us to pick one, and I know that we have limited amount of time to talk about this, but I'm going to make a decision on the fly here. I know it's a little not, maybe it's not even an actual Christmas movie, but I'm torn between Just Friends, purely for Anna Faris's
Ah,
comedy timing,
such a great pick.
comedic timing, and just because like I can watch that movie throughout the year, and there are bits of it where I can say that quote to someone who has watched it, and they would know exactly what I'm talking about, and it would be laughing for days. Like especially that part where Anna Faris is like playing the guitar but singing in another key, and then she's like, "Which jokester changed the key on me?" And the guy's like, the producer is like, it's been the same key for the past 50 takes. And I think I like that part because I've been there in the studio with someone who is like that countless times. And so I felt it to my core. And then I'm choosing between Just Friends or Home Alone, which for me is a classic. Takes me back. It gives me, it's quite nostalgic. And every time I watch it, like the little tricks that
Okay,
he plays on the people. Oh, here we
wait,
go.
wait, wait. Keep Home Alone, and then I'm gonna ask you guys again about like a children's movie which means a lot to you, children's Christmas movie. So I think
Oh,
keep that so
liquor.
that your vote can
Okay.
go for Just Friends, because I think that's an
Okay,
excellent
cool.
pick.
Okay. Okay, cool. So I'm putting Just Friends as my pick. But if I may mention something, I don't watch a lot of things during Christmas time because it's so busy. Food, people, family, usually. I want to actually just give you my top three music things. And it is Mariah Carey, Michael
Mm-hmm.
Bublé, the album, and then Boney M. Can we just, I know maybe it's just like my family of it, but Boney M just takes me back. Little drummer
Perfect.
boy, Mary's boy child, Jesus Christ, was born on Christmas Day. Remind me of Christmas.
I also have quite a music one. So there's this Josh Groban CD as well, where he plays "I'll Be Home for Christmas," and then they have like,
Yes,
okay, the snippets of the people from like
the
like in,
army people
yeah,
on their
like
way home.
the army
Yes,
people. Yeah, oh, mommy, oh my
Cheers!
gosh, kills me every single time.
instant. I'll never forget the year my mother bought that CD. Our house did not know peace. It was just Josh Groban 24/7 for like the days leading up to Christmas.
um, uh, sorry, I just got a little bit distracted by something that just happened on my phone.
Are we
Guys,
gonna
I
talk
got
about this?
accepted.
Oh,
Yes! Oh my god, that's so
wait, to what?
exciting!
To do my
To what?
honors.
I feel like we need to leave this in the recording because this is a moment.
No, I
Big
can't
moment
I feel like
happening.
I
believe
Do you
this,
just
wanna
guys.
do you wanna take a moment to cry, bitchy? Or
No,
do you wanna
okay.
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 We can
And
edit this out. Add some music, some violin. No?
yeah, you might
no,
just
no,
need to
no.
clean it up. I feel like both of us distorted so much. Oh, that's amazing.
Well, guys, 12 years. 12
Woo!
years.
That's how long your honors is gonna take.
No, that's how long it took me to get to honors.
Okay, good. Nice. This is good news. We're gonna
Ah,
be celebrating later. I might have some champagne here. Ooh, what is this?
I'm like, is it next to you in the bed? What is happening?
Why are you judging?
Why are you sleeping
judging?
with a bottle of bubble?
This is my friend because Corona has kept people away from me. So this is gonna. I'm joking. No, this is for Lara's birthday, but I just haven't managed to put it in a secret place yet.
Anyway, okay, back to the show. I didn't even press pause. We're still recording. Anyway, I also was gonna say that I also there's the CD that my dad bought when we were like a Christmas CD. I don't know if my dad bought it or Vanessa, but it was like a compilation of like I think we all know. I feel like this is a memory we all have in common. It's like CDs were
Now
expensive
40.
when we were young, so
Oh.
that we used to play the same CDs over and over because that
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
So we had this
Yeah.
Christmas CD that I like Nat King Cole and Bing Crosby and that
Oof.
kind of stuff. You guys know I like those kind of
the
old
classics.
movies.
Yes.
Yes.
So like a compilation of those things, and I used to listen to it over and over. So like that, I mean, you mentioned the best one, Rebecca. Like Mariah Carey, nothing comes close to that
Yeah,
for me.
come
like,
on. Yeah.
like we used to
You
have a
know.
burner one for years with just Mariah Carey. I mean, Christmas in Cokie written on, and then we eventually got the actual CD.
Our one was I can't remember his George Michael's Last Christmas.
Yes.
There was
yeah,
like a
classic.
cassette tape in our car, and
Woo!
everyone
Taking it
would
way
come
back,
out.
Leanne. Taking it way back. As soon as you mention the cassette tape, we need to start explaining to potential younger people what a cassette tape is and how to
My
burn a
nephew,
CD.
my nephew saw a Walkman, like a cassette, and he asked, "What's that?" My 19-year-old nephew, not even like the
Oh my
babies.
god. My heart.
He was
But
like, "What is
apparently
that?"
people are starting to collect cassettes again. So we got into a
Yeah,
conversation
like
with friends of
records.
ours from the UK, and they were saying, because we were joking about CDs and how CDs are so outdated, and it was like, oh, it's so funny because now records are like the thing. And we were like,
Yeah.
no, in the UK they
LP.
have people who are like, they collect and swap mixtapes, like old school cassette mixtapes. And I was like,
Yeah.
what?
Because Ethan wanted the Walkman, and then he could, but it wasn't fixed. There was something that didn't work in it, so he couldn't. I wanted to say, okay, if this is extra features for the for the episode, but last Christmas I distinctly also remember because I really love Christmas, like music, not Christmas. I really love music videos that have like a story to it, like a little movie, like Michael Jackson's
Yes.
ones. And I didn't really understand Last Christmas. And I asked my cousin, like, what is the song about? And she was like, you see, there's like a necklace in the song. She said, you see that necklace? He gave that necklace to that girl. And then she gave it to someone else. And then, but like, that was her way of explaining it to me
Literal.
as a child. And then, because obviously I didn't understand, like, I give you my heart. And then the necklace had a heart pendant thing
Yes.
on it. So that was her way of, like, explaining it. And so she's like, and now next year he's gonna give a necklace to someone else and not her. So I was like, but now that's whenever I see the music video, that's the explanation I think of. Okay, so my favorite Christmas movie is the one that I feel like you're about to rip to shreds.
Ooh.
But the basic bitch that I am, ain't nothing is better than Love Actually for me.
Oh, Lordy
That
Lord. Okay. So you are for Love Actually.
Yeah, I'm for this is
Okay.
this is my fighter.
Okay.
I do like stories that have a lot of different stories and are all connected. I do like that in general. But with them, it's just like all these different reiterations of love, and I think that for a lot of Christmas and maybe romance in general, when they talk about love, they talk about romantic love. And
Yeah.
Love Actually talks about love between a mother, I mean, like a parents and children. It talks about
Yeah.
love like young love, old love. It talks about love between friends. It talks about love between siblings. It talks about that there's more than just romantic love or the nuclear family or what we perceive to be what love is. And
Yeah.
and I think like, and that's what I enjoy about it, because because if Christmas is about love, and
Mm.
that's the general consensus, then that is such a great like example of how love can present itself in different ways.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's and that's why it's my favorite. My favorite
Yeah.
story, I think I might have mentioned this last year on the podcast. So anybody who listened to last year's Christmas episode and listens to this one will be like, Caryn, Alvia, talking about the
I
same things.
Alvia.
Um, but like my favorite storyline is still Colin Firth. I mean, y'all know I love Colin Firth, but Colin Firth
Oh,
and the Portuguese Aurelia,
Yes,
because
housekeeper. Yeah, yeah.
I just thought it was such a like, I love romantic gestures, and when they learned each other's languages so that they can talk to each other. And
yeah.
we see him learning like Portuguese, and then we see her like learning English. I'm not learning, but we see her when she replies to him in English, and I'm like,
She's trying, yes.
my
Mm.
heart. Anyway, so Love Actually is my fighter. So, what's your unpopular opinion, Rebecca?
Gosh, you're so hectic. But that there's some solid points you make there. That's You've got a strong argument, and it's obviously going to be. It's going to be difficult for me to argue against that now because I can both agree and disagree with you at the same
Mm.
time, and that is the beauty of friendship. Um, but there are two things. Okay, so there are a lot of things about love actually that I actually love. Haha. But did you get it? But the thing about love actually that gets to me quite a bit is that I think the Emma Thompson part of the film is so hectic for me that
Mm,
it kind of it like depresses me enough to just not like the rest of the movie
yeah, no, I
because
get that.
she's so like and
Yeah.
her acting, what if any other actor had taken that scene where she finds out that she's not getting the necklace and the necklace is
Mm.
for someone else, if any other actor had done that scene, it wouldn't have been as powerful
Mm,
as Emma Thompson doing that scene. And then she plays Joni Mitchell and it's just like, and immediately when that scene is on, I'm sad for
mm,
the whole of Christmas is ruined. I cannot watch another movie. But then also another thing that I think is just duck annoying is like I know we like Keira Knightley and she's beautiful and whatever, but she does a lot of the thing that I think I want to refer to as jaw acting. So she just
mm,
like she does a lot of jutting of the jaw and then like sort of putting it back and then jutting of the jaw and putting it back. And I'm like, that is, if you want to compare Keira Knightley's acting to Emma Thompson's acting, just for me, those two elements, it's the sadness and the amazing acting of Emma Thompson versus Keira Knightley, and then that whole love story, which is just, I'm not even going to start.
Messy.
mm.
Yeah,
So
I don't like that.
messy. Yeah.
It's to feel. And then on top of that, you've got freaking, what's his name? Bill Nighy, half naked in some of the scenes. I'm like, this is not what I want to see. On Christmas, this is not what I want to be feeding into my brain. So these are my reasons why I actually do not love actually. Come at
Ah,
me.
brilliant, brilliant. No, I can't dispute that.
I mean, these are two
You,
well constructed arguments, and as the I'm going to play Libra in
Gracias.
the room,
Oh, here we go.
go with,
Leanne's
you know,
birthday is
it's
16 September.
October, babes.
October, close
October.
enough.
Um,
Oops. Sorry.
I did the babes. I did it while we were recording. And yeah, I think they're both arguments. I think that's one of the reasons I can watch Love Actually every year. It's such a good film because the scenes like Emma Thompson's scene or the kid with the drums in his big airport finale, and Colin Firth and the Portuguese gal when they finally get together, or Hugh Grant dancing awkwardly across Downing Street. Like those are great moments in cinema, and so you have to love it. But then it's just equally as schmaltzy with Bill Nye or the Keira Knightley like sequence or like all of that stuff. So yeah, I suppose there's something for everyone, and that's why it generally tends to top people's votes.
Yeah.
so what is your unpopular opinion, Leanne? Christmas movie unpopular
I'll be
opinion.
honest, I don't know that I have one. I'm like,
I
I'm
think your
kind of on the
unpopular
fence
opinion
with
is that
this.
you like those dumb Netflix ones so much.
Okay, okay,
The fact that
calm
you call
down.
it Dom
That's your
is so
unpopular
funny.
opinion about my movie choice.
That's so funny.
Please calm down. To be fair, I started one the other day and then I actually stopped it because it was so bad. And I said to Steve, I was like, oh, at least now we know I have a threshold. Like,
Yeah.
I will stop a movie if it's terrible. But
Was
then
it
I
Christmas
just like,
reading planner? Because I walked out before the end of that movie. I was like,
oh,
I
I
walked
finished
out
it.
and
It
everyone.
actually ends really sweetly, like, because there's like a joint wedding in the
I
Snapchat.
saw that. I was still there.
I watched one on Showmax which was surprisingly good, and it's called Never Kiss a Man in a Christmas Sweater.
Ooh, that sounds like my kind of movie. Let me write that down.
And it was not as horrible as the one I stopped halfway through. So yeah, and that's probably my unpopular opinion that I enjoy schmaltzy Hallmark Christmas things at any time of the year.
So do I. I can't even like.
I wanted to ask a question about the whole Die Hard situation.
Oh
Because
God.
people have been mentioning that Die Hard is their ultimate Christmas movie.
Mhm.
Apparently, this is a popular opinion, but I don't get it.
Yes.
Do either of you understand why
Okay,
and
so
what this is about?
this was going to be when we were told to prepare an unpopular, mine was going to be Gremlins is not a Christmas movie, right? Because other than the fact that it takes place over Christmas and the gal tells a very depressing Christmas story at the
I've
beginning
never
of the
seen Gremlins.
movie, but everyone says it's a Christmas movie. And I
They
was going
say
to be like,
anything that takes
Gremlins
place
is
at
not,
Christmas
yeah, so
is
I
a
was like,
Christmas movie.
Gremlins is not a Christmas movie. And then but then the counter argument would be, then Die Hard is not a Christmas movie because nothing
Hmm.
about Die Hard, other than the fact that it takes place over Christmas. And then I suppose we have to get into the crux of how do you define what a Christmas movie
Mm.
is?
That's a whole other episode.
Yeah. So then I was like, I'm not going to open that can of worms. But thank you, Rebecca, for bringing up this
I'm
point.
sorry. Have either of you watched Die Hard? The Die Hard?
Yes, it's
Me neither,
brilliant.
Karen, me neither. Like I haven't
What?
in
I've
my
never
It's
seen
life.
amazing.
it either.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker. Like,
Okay, I
it's,
guess we're gonna have to watch it now because Leanne seems so excited about it.
no, like,
I
it's
We have
am
to
Bruce.
the
watch.
I
It
am
must be
the
good.
what the Han in Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Andy
Oh,
Samberg's
in
wife.
Santiago.
Yeah, I'm
Uh,
Amy.
oh, in this one.
I'll watch it if
Am I
somebody
Jake in
makes
the
me
scene?
watch it. Yeah, I'll watch it if somebody makes me watch it. But no, but it's like what annoys me more about it, it's just like everybody keeps saying it like it's something no one has ever said before. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, okay.
That's what annoys me. I'm like, people are saying this all the time. They're like,
Yeah.
oh, and then somebody go, what's your favorite Christmas movie? And then they're like, Die Hard. Ha ha ha. I'm like, people say that all the time.
It
That's so
doesn't make you
boring.
edgy to call Die Hard a Christmas
Yeah,
movie, guys.
it
It's
doesn't.
fine.
It doesn't. It's boring now. It's an old joke. But my unpopular opinion is okay. I'm coming for Leanne's fave here, but the
Oh,
holiday.
Mm.
So so
okay.
I something you need to know about me is that I'm not the biggest Cameron Diaz fan in general. She annoys me most movies.
Okay.
But something about that character in that movie drives me up the wall. Like I just find it extraordinarily annoying. And
Yeah.
like she's always whining, and it's like, but we're supposed to like her. And then Jude Law, my Prince Jude Law, is now falling for her. That's a little too close to comfort for me. So but likely, and I also really love the Kate Winslet storyline. Like as a someone who sees himself as um a, a best friend that's supposed to be a
Yeah.
leading lady, that it resonated with me so hard. So I always so when I watch it, I tend to skip the Cameron Diaz
Cameron Diaz
parts.
bits.
I do watch it, but sometimes with the Judo and the kids. That's kind of cute. But yeah, I skip those bits, and then I only watch the Kate Winslet and Jack Black. But I mean, if somebody had to give me an edited version of just the Kate Winslet part of the movie, that would be the perfect movie for me.
So, okay. Proposal. What if you cut out the Keira Knightley bits from Love Actually, and then you put in the Kate Winslet bits from The Holiday? Do you know what I mean?
The perfect movie.
Fantastic. I think we need to do this Christmas. The Holiday is where Kate Winslet and what's her name? Cameron
Cameron
Diaz.
Diaz.
Do they know each other? I can't
They
remember.
swap
No, so they're on like
houses.
this, yeah, on this website where you can like swap houses. So for the
Okay.
summer, like for the winter. So
Uh,
so Cameron Diaz chooses to go to London, and Kate Winslet chooses to go to
oh
Los Angeles. And then there's
yeah.
so then Cameron Diaz lives in
Oh.
this big house. She's like a trailer editor, and
Uh,
then Kate Winslet lives in like this cottage type vibe, and yeah.
okay. Yeah, it didn't even make like my top five. Before then was even Elf. And even though like Will Ferrell is on nodig in Elf, like I didn't even Holiday wasn't even on my list. Sorry guys.
So okay, so my last Christmas question for y'all is
Uh-oh.
what is the, yeah, Rebecca, you can start with your Home Alone, but what is like the classic childhood Christmas movie? Because I mean what did we say? All three of the movies that we picked came out kind of when we were teenagers type
Mm,
vibes. So what is like
mm,
the childhood Christmas movie that that you have like fond memories of, or you keep like gives you the warm
yeah.
and fuzzies?
The
So
warm
Rebecca,
and
you can
fuzzy.
start seeing it. You kind of answered it in the beginning.
I said Home Alone only because it's a classic. I mean, it happens around Christmas, and they have all those booby traps. And as a child, you're like, oh man, I bet you I could look after myself and eat all the sweets. And if burglars came to my house, I'd be able to get at them the same way Macaulay Culkin managed to get at them, you know. But yeah, I feel like it's a common movie. Don't everyone likes
Mm.
Home Alone? Huh? Who are the people who don't like Home Alone? Makes me sad.
I was never a massive Home Alone fan, so
Oh my
I
god.
think I watched it. I
Oh my
listen. If we're gonna
god.
talk about kids being left at home ridiculously, I think I was more of a Three Ninjas girl than a Home Alone girl, because
Mm.
like I enjoyed the shenanigans a little bit more than, and it's weird because I don't remember us watching like when I was a kid, really watching
Mm.
Three
Christmas movies. So
ninjas.
yeah, the Three Ninjas. There was like a
I have
bunch of them.
no
But I
idea that
know
that
there's
movie
one where like,
exists.
hey,
Does it? I don't even know that movie existed. Like, what is it?
I know Steve also did not know this thing existed. And I was like, no, it's definitely a thing. I don't know, it's the Three Ninjas and it has Mr. Miyagi as their grandfather.
Mr.
Then it
Miyagi's
has
in
the,
there.
yes, and the youngest brother's Tum Tum. And then
Okay.
there's like, I know there's three of them and then they do teenage
The ninja
shenanigans and
things.
Colt
Okay.
and Rocky, and yeah, that was kind of the my Home Alone. Um, yeah, I don't remember there being a specific Christmas movie. I used to have the Disney movies on VHS, specifically Aladdin, The Lion King, and The Fox and the Hound, and I used to rewatch them every December holidays. So I think
Oh.
for me over Christmas, it's any classic Disney is
Mm.
like a Christmas movie to me.
Yeah.
For me, it was the first Santa Claus movie with Tim Allen,
Okay.
where Santa
Oh
Claus
wow.
dies on the roof. Can't
So
remember he gets.
hectic. Like,
I don't know if
that's
he
the first
dies,
thing
or I
you
don't remember if he dies or if he was like.
Yo.
But then Tim Allen kind of needs to take over the mantle as Santa Claus. Or I don't think
Yeah.
he dies. I think he was like injured, and
Man.
then he sort of like becomes Santa Claus, and then there's like a
Is
little.
that the
There's,
one where
I
he
think
can
there's a
only
few.
eat cookies and then he starts getting
Yeah, yeah,
fat and he can't
yeah, yeah,
explain
yeah,
how stuff is happening?
yeah.
Oh, that's so cute. Okay, yeah, that's a good one.
And, I didn't. I think I went to watch. I went to go watch it at the movies, and I just really enjoyed it, and I had such an attachment to it. And I was a big fan of Home Improvement as a child, so like
Ah.
seeing Tim the Toolman Taylor in this new role. Yeah, why are you laughing? I watched what there was only 4 channels on TV, Leanne. We didn't have ETV wasn't even around then. We just used
I
to
am
watch what
not
was
even
there.
judging you at this point.
And I had
I
such a
am well
crush on
aware.
Jonathan Taylor Thomas. So anyway, so yeah, so I really love that movie. And then since then I found out he was like um kind of mean to the kids, but the kids still loved like while he was filming, Tim Allen
Mm.
would be like kind of like a little like dick to them. but then they still liked him. And then I listened to an interview with him later on where he was like saying like he's always like that with children, even with his own children, like the neighbors, but then they all want to come over all the time.
Oh god.
But yeah, that's my kind of like childhood fave. So if
I
any
like that
parents with kids are looking for older Christmas movies,
I like that both your childhood movie and your older lady person movie both is kind of the reason why you like them is because you had a crush on someone in the film. Like it was one of the
no, I
points.
didn't have a crush on anyone in Santa Claus.
No, you just said yeah, you
I
kind of
said I
had a
had a
crush on
crush
like
on Jonathan Taylor Thomas in Home Improvement.
yeah, I know, but I mean like okay, so then it's somehow
Oh, you mean
to
I
why you
liked
like
Tim
the
Allen, but I
movie.
didn't have a crush on him.
No,
I just
okay.
knew him as
No,
from
you
the
don't have to
Tilman
Please
say
do
Taylor.
not get it twisted.
no shame,
Yeah,
no
please,
shame. Tim Allen's got nice
please.
eyes.
Like
No, at
I've
that
got a
point we
lot of
know everything was
embarrassing.
for Uncle Jesse,
Huh?
wasn't it?
Oh yeah. No, nobody
At that stage of
came
your life, it
close
was
to
all for
Uncle
Uncle
Jesse.
Jesse.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, no. Oh, what John
I
Stamos, the dog.
yeah,
Yeah.
John Stamos. I don't have like I have a lot of embarrassing older men crushes, and I would gladly tell you about it, but that's not one
Mm-hmm.
of them.
But okay,
So
and Tim
so let's
Allen.
end this discussion now.
Oh yeah, no. Okay,
So
those
on
eyes.
season 4, episode 1, tune in for Caryn going into all her embarrassing old guy crushes.
I feel like anyone who follows me on Twitter knows enough.
Yeah.
knows enough.
They're like,
I
where's
feel
the
like
shame?
anything
No
more than that
shame.
is blackmail. Um, yeah, no. I remember once I tweeted something like someone shared a TikTok of Alfonso Cuarón's daughter, and like she was sharing a video of him, and then I was like, I said something about him, and then someone's like, "That's so on brand for you to crush on him." You know, he's 100% your type. Anyway, so going back to talking about embarrassing crashes, this is our last episode for season 3, and we had some amazing guests this year. I mean, this season.
Mm,
I'm just going to run through who we had. Some of them I'm just going to group by like their group because it's just too many names.
mm,
So we had Kim Engelbrecht, we had Mark Lottering, we had Liesl Tommy, we had Jessica Batten, we had Leslie Ann Brandt, we had the cast of Blood and Water, we had our good friends Stephen Nagel and Dean Naval. We had Sloan returning. We had a horror movie fanatic Reva Murray. We had Okay Wasabi, Rian Musa, and the cast of How to Ruin Christmas, The Funeral. So it was packed, like packed. So I want to ask. I had a lot of great times chatting to them and meeting them, and just wonderful moments. But I want to ask you guys, what is your favorite moments of season 3? Jan, you want to
I
go first?
think for me, it wasn't so much a moment. I think it was the fact that you finally got to interview Kim Engelbrecht. Like, I know how long you've been a Kim stan. And so the fact that you got to do that, I was like, yes, so excited for you. But it wasn't just that you got to interview all these great people. I think the Kim Engelbrecht one and the Jessica Batten one, it was just how great you guys got along on the podcast. Like, you guys sounded like besties, and in both those conversations, you
Yeah.
could tell that you guys were leading the conversation. And so for me, like, that was my favorite moment, was the fact that like you're like besties with Kim and Jessica now, and just seeing that growth and that happen was amazing.
Mm. And Eurobex?
For me, similar to Leanne, it was sort of countless moments throughout the season of just being like, it's actually so cool to see you interviewing these people. I mean, we're not going to do a whole thing of like, I'm not going to cheer the
You're the
pom poms
best.
right now, but you've done such an amazing job. Like if you compare yourself to season 1 and season 3, and how you do it with so much ease, even more so now than you did in season 1. It's nice to see. But I want to tell you guys. I think I kind of spoke to you guys about when I met Riyad Musa at the premiere that I was lucky to go to, thanks to this podcast. Um, I was quite ill for the past month essentially, and for 2 weeks before going to the premiere, I was hopped up on painkillers, and but I could not miss this premiere of new material. Um, Anyways, I went to the. I think maybe I'm actually. This is the first time I'm going to reveal to you what happened at the premiere. This is like the full story. So the whole time you guys were messaging me and you were like, "How's it going there, Bex? Are you enjoying the film? Send us some pictures." Because I'd had 4 microdolls, not all at once. It was just a culmination of all of this. When I sat down in the very comfortable chairs at the cinema, I fell asleep just a little bit, just a little bit. But then at the end of the movie, I actually bumped into Riyad Musa as I was trying to get something from Steers to drink at the Monte Casino. It's obviously the best place to meet such a cool actor and comedian. Anyway, bumped into Riyad Musa and his family, and they were so kind and generous to them. They allowed me to take a picture with them. But then his wife asked me, "What did you think of the movie?" I actually enjoyed quite a lot. But more so, I think that, like, you mentioned this earlier about South African movies, that you're learning to appreciate South African movies a lot more. And for me, there's this like excitement that I feel knowing that the South African film industry and TV industry is making strides a lot quicker now, especially because South Africans work flippin' hard, and we have had to deal with like struggle for for so many years, that like to see all of these movies and all of these come out now during the middle of a freaking pandemic, and the quality is just it's just getting better and better and better, and the stories are being told in in a more sort of substantial way. It's just makes my heart excited for what's to come. I'm looking forward to the people you might interview um, in season 4.
Yeah, like I'm looking forward to it. Um, Me too. For me, like, I, as I said, every episode had something that I enjoyed, and it's very difficult for me to narrow it down. But like,
Uh,
and also to say things that you guys haven't said. I mean, Kim Engelbrecht was a dream come true. That was on my vision board. Um, but I'm and Mark Lottering and Jed Mosa. Like you guys know, I'm a big fan of stand-up comedy, and they are the OGs for me. They were Mark Lottering was the first stand-up show I saw live. Jed Mosa was second. So having the two of them on the
mm,
show, like, was also wild for me. And the way that they chatted, I had quite a long conversations with both of them,
yeah.
and they were just so open, and it was a very good quality conversation. Jessica Batten coming from this big US show. Not only was she cool wanting to do the interview, but she also listened to episodes before the time. And she was like, she spoke as if she knew. And for me, it was like, wow, like, that kind of appreciation. Um, and also that she was also quite open, and for somebody who's always like tabloid fodder and that kind of thing.
Mm,
I mean, that was amazing. But yeah, I have to go back and say my number one moment would have to be Kim. So
mm,
I'm backing down to this. Like, I've told you guys both this privately, but I haven't told the listeners. Um, so Kim being my dream interview was a well known fact. Like, people knew it. I spoke about it often, and when I'd nagged. I think I spoke about it on the
Almost
almost perfect.
perfect.
Why did I
mm,
say almost perfect podcast as well? About that was before I interviewed, about how much I want to interview Kim Engelbrecht, and I nagged Mnet, and I was like, guys, can I interview her? And they were like, we don't know. And this a couple of weeks ago, I met with PR people from Mnet, and they were like, Kim doesn't really do local interviews much, and she has to okay it each herself. And they were like, when I sent her through your request, and I thought she was going to say no, and I was so surprised she said yes. So I was shook for that. Like, I mean, we are not a big, well-known podcast. So, I mean, that was luck of the draw that she managed. She wanted to do it. And she was so open, and we just had a great conversation. But furthermore than that, like, when Mnet contacted me to say we had the interview, and the interview was the next day, which means I had to prep for the interview in a day, which also mean I didn't really tell anyone other than you guys about it. And then what had happened is my sister was in hospital at that time. She was with COVID, and she knew the most about how much. I spoke about it all the time. How much I wanted to interview Kim Engelbrecht, but I didn't tell her about the interview because I was like, oh, when she comes out of hospital, I'm going to tell her this is going to be something exciting. But because I was very excited, I tweeted about it and I shared like, oh guys, I'm interviewing my hero, whatever. And my sister has Twitter. She's not very active, but she used to go on it, and she just happened to go on it at hospital. So that happened the Tuesday, and then the Wednesday she did a group call with our whole family, like the first time we heard her while she was in hospital. And like she's just like talking, she couldn't talk much because of the oxygen levels, and she just spoke about like how she's feeling and what the doctors have been saying. And then she called me and she's like, Caryn. And I was like, yeah. And she's like, how was your interview with Kim? And it was the only thing other than the hospital that she asked me. And I was like, oh, this is so good. How did you know about it? It was going to be a surprise. And she's like, no, I was scrolling and I saw. And I told her like, oh, we besties now. We mutuals on Instagram. And she's like, aha, look at you. And she's like, I'm so happy and stuff like that. And that's the last thing we ever said to each other. And
Okay.
it's the saddest thing, but it's also like, it's like I'm sad that like the last thing we spoke about was the podcast, not like these are my tips for your future, like like I don't know, like in movies what they say. I'm sad that it's that, but I'm glad that she knew that in other, I'm glad that she found out, or that I posted that on Twitter, and that I would have been very sad if she had died and not known that this is not my biggest goal in life, but it was a big goal of mine that I had achieved that.
Yeah.
So despite everything, despite what season 4 or the future might hold for the podcast will always have like a very special place in my heart, because that was the last thing that I had spoken to my
Yeah.
sister about.
Yeah.
So
And don't you think that also, like, a lot of the times when we have conversations with people that we've known for years and people that we love, you can say one thing, but there are so many layers to it. You know what I mean? So, like,
Yeah.
just at that small little snippet of conversation that you had with her, it wasn't only that. It was like she understands all of the stuff that led up to that moment, and so I also think if I had a moment where I could say that, like, I enjoyed this podcast the most, editing this podcast the most, was when Vanessa and your mom were on the podcast, because I know them as well, and just like having their voices, in a time capsule like that. There was so much information in there. Vanessa gave you so much good advice, or us and the listeners so much good advice as well in that
Such a great
episode, and it
episode.
was just, yeah. And I oof, podcast podcasts are not only just podcasts, there's so much
mhm.
more to it.
But on that note, like I know I'm leaving it on a sad note, but I just want to say thank you to all the listeners. I mean, we are not the biggest podcast. We have sorry, yeah.
I feel like you were building to a very like nice wrap up, but I think I want to do since since you had the opportunity to interview Kim Engelbrecht and she was on your vision board. Who else is on your vision board that you would love to be able to interview?
Meghan Markle. Um,
Easy.
Another bestie.
Meghan Markle. I mean, there's a lot. Honestly, there's locally Thusum Budu would be probably my number
Mm.
one. Punang, but but there's no. I mean, there's many. That's what I'm gonna ask. So,
Okay.
like personally, I could. There's so many conversations I'd like to have. So many people I'd like to talk to. David Cow. I'm like gonna think of new people all the time. Um, Locally, there are so many great actors like Fudge.
Mm.
Like like Rami Chuni, we spoke to last week, and we could only talk to her about how to ruin Christmas because I only had like a few minutes with her. But I mean, she's an iconic actor, and it would have been amazing to
Yeah.
chat to her more. But yeah, there's so many people internationally. Everybody, I don't know, Ben Bonds. Let's start there. Um, um, yeah, Zendaya. Uh, yeah, I love conversation so much, and I love talking to people so much that I think there's an opportunity for something great with everybody, and I'm excited for what the show will bring or who the show will bring. But yeah, it's very difficult for me to say my next person other than Meghan Markle.
Mm.
Um,
Easy. I know someone who
yeah,
knows someone
easy.
who knows someone.
6 degrees,
Easy.
babes.
Okay, so on that note, I just want to thank all the listeners who have listened over the last year. We don't have a big budget for marketing. We do everything ourselves. Um, and literally everything happens via word of mouth. And so we are so grateful for you for listening, for telling your friends, for reviewing, for sharing on social media. Every little bit helps. And yeah, it was an amazing year because you guys made it that like that, and we keep getting better guests because of our listeners, and forever eternally grateful to all of you. So thank you.
Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Yeah, yeah. Merry Christmas.
Me, you can find at Caryn Walby on Instagram, at Caryn Walbys on Twitter, and sign up for my newsletter, Wild Streams, at wildstreams.substack.com. The podcast can be found at Crushing On Pod on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, at What IGN's Crushing On YouTube, and you can find more information about this and all our other episodes at our website, crushingonpodcast.com. And send any feedback to mail@crushingonpodcast.com. Send us voice notes at +27 78 362 2566. Join our Facebook group, Crushing On Club, where we chat about the show, celebrity news, recommendations, the whole shebang. The show is produced by me, Caryn, and Rebecca Barches. The show is edited and engineered by Rebecca Barches. Our admin is done by Leanne Phillipson. Our logo was designed by Nathifa Maroof, and the show was created in partnership with IGN Africa. If you like the show, tell everyone that you can, any way that you can. Keep up to date with our episodes by subscribing to the show on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. And please rate and review the episodes on Apple Podcasts, as it helps others find the show. We'll be back with another in-depth conversation with a pop culture lover. See you then.